I didn't say a word when I first saw her. Not because I wasn't terrified. Not because I didn't have questions clawing at my throat. But because something deep inside me, something instinctual, told me that speaking might be the worst thing I could do. She stood at the edge of my living room like she had always belonged there. The door hadn't opened. The locks hadn't clicked. One moment I was alone, staring at my laptop after another long night of editing videos, and the next she was just there.
Tall.
Graceful. Not human. Her skin shimmered faintly, like light reflecting off water. Her eyes, if you could call them that, were deep, glowing pools of shifting color. And her expression calm, but not cold. Curious, but not naive. She tilted her head slightly. And then I heard it. You are aware of me. The voice didn't come from her mouth. Her lips hadn't moved. The words echoed inside my skull, clear and undeniable. I froze. My first thought was panic.
What are you?
Her eyes brightened. You did not speak, yet I heard you. My heart slammed against my ribs. She stepped closer, her movements smooth, almost weightless. Fascinating, the voice continued, gentle but layered, like multiple tones woven into one. You are projecting without intent. I swallowed hard, still refusing to speak. This is not possible, she added. Then why are you here? I thought, unable to stop myself. A faint smile touched her lips. Because of you. Her name, at least the closest thing my mind could translate, was Lyra. She didn't tell me in the traditional sense. Instead, she shared impressions, meanings, fragments of language that reshaped themselves in my thoughts until I understood. And somehow, I did. Lyra wasn't from anywhere I could comprehend. Not a planet. Not a galaxy. Something else entirely. Something she described as a layer adjacent to reality. A place that existed beside ours, overlapping in ways we couldn't perceive. Her species, she explained, communicated entirely through thought. No spoken language. No sound. To them, minds were open landscapes, constantly exchanging information, emotions, and memory. There were no secrets, no lies. Until now.
Until me.
You can't hear each other's thoughts? She asked, not aloud, but inside me. No, I replied. Her reaction was immediate and intense.
That is horrifying.
I almost laughed, despite everything. You get used to it. She stepped closer, studying me with unsettling focus. But you're different. I frowned.
How?
She reached out slowly, her hand hovering just inches from my forehead. You're closed yet not. The moment her fingers brushed my skin, something exploded inside my mind. Images.
Sounds.
Memories that weren't mine. Endless skies, filled with shimmering structures. Beings moving like currents of light. Entire civilizations built on pure thought. I staggered backward, gasping. Stop. I shouted instinctively. The connection snapped. We both froze. Her eyes widened. You spoke. I stared at her, breathing heavily. Yeah, I said. I can do that. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she did something unexpected. She laughed. Not out loud, but I felt it. A ripple of warmth and amusement flooding through my mind. Primitive, but effective. I blinked. Thanks, I think. Over the next few hours, though it felt like days, Lyra explained why she was here. And why she couldn't leave. Her kind had discovered Earth accidentally. Not through space travel, but through something closer to resonance. A fluctuation in reality had briefly aligned our layers, allowing a limited interaction between her world and ours. Most of her kind had observed from a distance, but Lyra had crossed over, and now she was stuck. The alignment has ended, she explained. The path back is gone. So you're stranded? I asked.
Temporarily, she said.
But there was uncertainty in her tone. And you came to me because... She studied me again, that same intense curiosity burning in her eyes. Because you heard me. I shook my head. No, I didn't. You heard me. Exactly. I didn't understand. She stepped closer again. Your thoughts, they are loud. I frowned. What does that even mean? Most minds are quiet, structured,
Contained.
Her gaze sharpened. Yours is not. I didn't know whether to feel proud or insulted. So I'm just noisy. You are open, she corrected. And that should not be possible. The next few days were surreal. Lyra stayed in my apartment. Not because she needed to. She didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't seem affected by anything physical, but because she had nowhere else to go. And somehow, I became her anchor. We spent hours talking, sometimes out loud, sometimes in thought. She asked endless questions about humanity. Why we lied. Why we hid our thoughts. Why we built barriers between ourselves. And I asked about her world. About a civilization without secrets, without deception, without loneliness. We do not experience isolation as you do, she explained. We are always connected. I leaned back on the couch, staring at the ceiling. Sounds nice. It is stable. Something in her tone made me glance at her. Stable. She hesitated. For the first time since I'd met her, there was something like doubt in her presence. It is also limiting. That caught my attention.
How?
She looked at me, really looked at me, like she was trying to understand something beyond words. There is no mystery, she said softly. No uncertainty. I sat up. No surprises? None. I couldn't help it, I smiled. Then, honestly, that sounds kind of boring. Her eyes flickered.
Boring? Yeah.
I mean, not knowing things, figuring them out, making mistakes, that's kind of the whole point. She went very still. The whole point, I shrugged, of being alive. It happened on the 5th day. That's when everything changed. Lyra was standing by the window, staring out at the city. I was behind her, scrolling through my phone, half listening to the quiet hum of traffic outside. Then suddenly she stiffened. They have found me. I looked up. What? Her presence in my mind shifted, tightened. They're trying to reach me. Who? My kind. Relief flooded through me. That's good, right? They can bring you back. But she didn't move, didn't respond. Lyra? Her voice came slowly, strained. They cannot locate me precisely. I frowned. What does that mean? She turned to face me. They need a signal. I hesitated. And her gaze locked onto mine. You are the signal. A cold weight settled in my chest. Me? Your mind is visible to them in ways others are not. I took a step back. And what happens if they use me as a signal? She didn't answer immediately, which told me everything I needed to know. Lyra. Her voice was quiet. It may damage you. I let out a breath. Define damage. Your mind may not withstand the connection. I laughed nervously.
Great.
That sounds great. She stepped closer, urgency radiating from her. I will not allow it. Wait, what? I will not use you. I blinked. But you said you're stuck here. Then I remain. The certainty in her voice hit me harder than anything else. You'd stay? Just like that?
Yes.
I stared at her. You don't even like it here. That is irrelevant. Something tightened in my chest. You give up going home because of me? She didn't hesitate.
Yes.
I didn't sleep that night. Not that I could. My mind kept replaying her words over and over again. I will not use you. No one had ever said something like that to me before. No one had ever chosen me at a cost like that. By morning, I had made up my mind. I found her sitting exactly where I'd left her, still and silent. Lyra. Her eyes opened.
You have decided something.
I nodded.
Yeah.
She stepped closer, concern flickering through her thoughts. You should not. I'm going to help you. Her presence flared. No, I am. It is too dangerous. So is being stuck here forever. That is my choice. I shook my head.
No.
It's not just your choice anymore.
She stared at me.
And for the first time, I felt resistance. Not confusion. Not curiosity. Resistance.
Why? She asked.
The question hit deeper than I expected.
Why?
I could have said it was the right thing to do, that it was about helping someone in need. But that wasn't the truth. The truth was simpler. Because you chose me, I said quietly. Her thoughts stilled. And no one's ever done that before. The connection process was indescribable. Lyra explained it as best she could, but there were no real words for it. It wasn't just communication. It was merging. Her kind would reach out, find my mind, use it as a beacon to locate her position, and then open the path. You ready? I asked, trying to sound braver than I felt. She stood in front of me, her expression unreadable.
No.
I smiled faintly. Same. She reached out, placing her hand against my forehead again. But this time she didn't hold back. The moment the connection formed, it felt like my mind was being pulled apart. Not painfully, at least not at first, but intensely. Like every thought, every memory, every piece of me was being laid bare. Then they arrived. Not physically.
But
Mentally. Presences. Plural. Ancient.
Vast.
We have found you. The voices, echoed through me, layered and immense. Lyra. Her presence surged beside mine. I am here. You have deviated from protocol. I know. There was a pause. Then the human is the anchor. I felt their attention shift. Onto me. Every instinct screamed to pull away, to run. But I couldn't. This mind is unstable. It is unique, Lyra replied. It is fragile. I'm right here, you know, I muttered through gritted teeth. Lyra's presence tightened around mine. Do not harm him. He is not of concern. That didn't sound reassuring. The pressure increased. My thoughts began to blur. Memories overlapping. Emotions bleeding into each other. I felt like I was dissolving. Lyra, I whispered. Stay with me, she said. Her voice, her presence, became my anchor. The chaos didn't stop, but it centered. The path is ready, the others said. Return. There was a moment of silence. Then Lyra spoke.
No.
Everything froze.
Clarify.
I will not return. My heart skipped. Lyra, what are you? I choose to remain. The pressure around my mind shifted, sharp, sudden. This is not acceptable. It is my decision. You are part of the collective. Not anymore. I felt it then. A fracture. Not in my mind. In theirs. You would sever yourself? Lyra's voice was steady.
Yes.
Lyra, don't. But it was too late. The connection snapped. Not gently. Violently. I collapsed to the floor, gasping. The weight vanished instantly. The silence was deafening. For a long moment I couldn't move.
Couldn't think.
Then, Lyra? No answer. Panic surged. I pushed myself up, scanning the room. She was there, standing exactly where she had been. But something was different. Something quieter. Lyra? She turned to me slowly. And this time, there was no voice in my head. Just her lips moving. I cannot reach you. Her voice was soft. Uncertain.
Human.
I stared at her. You're talking. She nodded slightly. I am trying. I took a step closer. What happened? She hesitated, then said the words that changed everything. I am no longer one of them. Life didn't go back to normal after that. It couldn't, because Lyra stayed. Not as a visitor, not as an observer, but as something entirely new. Something in between.
She learned to speak.
Slowly at first, awkwardly, but she improved. Every day. And I learned something too. That connection didn't have to mean losing yourself. That choosing someone, truly choosing them, was the most powerful thing you could do. Sometimes, I still catch her staring at the sky. A distant look in her eyes. Not sad. Just remembering. You miss them? I asked once.
She thought about it.
Then shook her head. I remember them. She looked at me and smiled. But I chose this. I smiled back. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel alone.